Welcome to Knuckle Town.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
Welcome to Knuckle Town.
A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Welcome to Knuckle Town, man. I'm your boy Big Face, man. And as always, bringing you the latest and greatest in the world of bare knuckle. And, you know, we've been talking a lot lately about the expansion of the sport and how fast it's growing and gaining popularity. Well, who better to talk to right now than the CEO of BKFC Thailand and MMA fighter, Nick Chapman, man. Welcome to Knuckle Town, Nick Chapman. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing extremely well, thank you.
Absolutely. So I see behind you in beautiful Thailand. Am I right there?
Yeah, this is where I live, yeah. I'm actually just about to start training after this interview, so I'm at the gym, so apologies for any background noise. But yeah, it's beautiful, man. We've got a temple there and some lakes and some palm trees and shit.
So you say you're about to train, or Nick, are you still actively fighting, or are we training to keep in shape, or what are we up to these days?
Well, the only fight I have in my life now is to stay in shape. I'm 48 years old and it's hard, but yeah, I train every day. I do Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu. I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm working towards my black. I hit the gym sort of 3 days a week doing weights and S&C as well. I do what I can.
I mean, so we're the same age, so I feel you on everything you're saying now, but I can't fuck with your level of violence, my friend, Mr. Nick. But so we know that, you know, I followed your MMA career. I know you've been an MMA fighter all your life, you've been in combat sports. What led you into the bare knuckle realm, Nick?
That's an interesting question. I mean, look, my whole life I've just been into martial arts since I can remember and fighting. When MMA come along, obviously I gravitated towards that, loved it, done all right in that. And then I got old and I had to retire really from fighting. And I come to Thailand and figured, you know, I'd kick back a little bit and still be involved in the fight game, because what a great place to be if you're interested in combat sports. And I refereed an event once for a friend of mine in Phuket, and it was BKFC rules, and David Feldman was overseeing it, and I was in the ring watching these guys slug it out, and it just reminded me of where I grew up back in the streets, and I loved it. It was brilliant. I was like, this is great. So I made contact with Mr. Feldman and literally begged and pleaded him to let me take on the brand over here in Asia, and he agreed, and that's how it come about.
Absolutely, and the relationship with David Feldman is very interesting, because I've spoken with David Feldman Sr., and he, of course, has high regard for you, and we're talking about expansion. So obviously, you know, while not a lot has happened lately in Thailand, I know that they're expanding to Seoul, Korea. Have you been involved at all in that expansion into Seoul?
Well, I can't really say a lot, but what I will tell you is this. We are working on something pretty big at the minute. I'm obviously under the guidance of Mr. Feldman. He's putting together some pretty big deals over in this part of the world. But we kind of wanted to wait because we've got a few things happening. Korea, he's mentioned. I think I can talk about, well, to an extent I can talk about that. But there's a couple of other big things happening over this part of the world. And we're kind of waiting for the schedule to fit in. And then I'll start fitting in everything else around that. So Thailand, we're looking at the Philippines. I'm still very keen on that region. There's a couple of other regions. We've been approached by a huge organization in Vietnam. So there are interesting things happening, yeah.
Well, absolutely. I've heard the murmurs of the Philippines as well, because, of course, we have some really popular Filipino fighters, and Nelson Lopez Jr. being of half Filipino heritage, half Cuban. I know the Asian market is a hot market. That leads me to something I want to talk about. You know, I followed all the BKFC Thailand fights, and the rules, you know, somewhat different there sometimes in here, when you can strike with the legs and knees. in the first round or not. You know how the rules are set up. Do you feel like it's a cultural thing where in Thailand they've been fighting bare knuckle forever? It's to them bare knuckle may be tame, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that bare knuckles tame in some regards because obviously they're striking with elbows, knees, kicks. But when you mention bare knuckle to a Thai fighter, they go, oh, as if it's like really hardcore. So it's quite interesting. It really makes me laugh. But at the same time, these Thai guys do not care. They'll get in and they will fight anyone under any rules. And they'll do the best they can. But it is a very different culture here with the fight scene. The Muay Thai is generally a lot slower paced than the Western boxing, and which we see in our events. It's slightly slower paced, but we're encouraging the action to pick up now through incentives such as bonuses and things like that. So we are developing still to get alongside the impact, the excitement of the American and the UK versions, but we're getting there.
Well, I found that interesting, Nick, because while I know it's a little bit more, feeling out, but there's nothing more violent than Muay Thai. I mean, when applied, that's probably the most violent martial arts form.
Well, this is
So
what
they're
I like
used to that
about
kind of violence.
well, yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because the thing with Muay Thai is it's generally 5 rounds, it's in a stadium, and over here, gambling's illegal. However, gambling in the stadiums literally keeps the sport going. Now, what causes problems? It's a good thing because there's obviously interest and money around the sport and it keeps it up. But the problem with it is that for the first round, the fighters will just feel each other out for the guys gambling to get an idea of who to take their bets on. And it's like this strange culture where they build up slowly, they go hard in the third, hard in the fourth, and then the fifth, they literally just dance it off. And it's like, that's not how BKFC is. We want you to go at it the minute that bell goes. So I'm trying to take out an element of this culture and this way that they fight here and get them to understand how we do things. And slowly they're coming round. But yeah, as much as Muay Thai can be a really aggressive sport, and it should be, a lot of the time the guys are feeling each other out for a round or two, which I don't like.
I mean, see, that's exactly why I wanted to ask you that question, because culturally you're there, you see that. And that, we see that depicted in film, and you see it in the ceremony, the way they, I've seen some live Muay Thai events, and you're right. It's very, I can see them betting in the stands. They're betting in the stands.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, gambling pushes every sport's popularity. I mean, and that's what's pushing bare knuckle. I mean, you look at the Bet Shark, you look at who's, the gambling. As the gambling grows, so does the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sports betting is important for combat sports around the world. It props up the industry. There's no doubt.
Every sport.
Especially with all these live streams that people are ripping off these days. But yeah, here it just has an impact on the pace of the sport. That's the only issue. But when you see, like, when you have these Muay Thai fighters that aren't governed by the sports betting, it's very aggressive, it's very violent. And I'm trying to bring that element into BKFC, but obviously just with fists.
So I want to talk to you about what really excites a lot of people here on this side of the pond when it to Thailand is the Po Dinmon v. Britton Hart strawweight bout that everyone wants to watch. I mean, I'm sure you want to see that fight as well, yes?
Oh yeah, man. That's my number one objective for this year.
I mean, I've seen Britton fight a few times live. Of course, I saw her up in Salem when she beat Melanie Shaw, and it was really a mismatch. She's coming into her own, as a B-side fighter who's won like 7 fights in a row since losing to Ferreira. I mean, she's amazing, and Po Dinmon is amazing, and I can't wait.
Dude, I'm really excited about this fight. I've seen Britton fight live as well. I was in Montana when she fought there, and I was impressed at how much she's improved. I mean, her composure, her striking, her pressure, her spatial awareness, and her movement was incredible. But then we've got Po Dinmon, who arguably isn't as exciting as Britton, and I agree that she's probably not. Her style is a little bit more counter. But I see Po causing some big problems for Britton. I see Britton's going to have to chase Po down, get inside that reach, and put pressure on. And I really do like this new ring size. I think this new ring size is really going to benefit Britton in this fight. So I'm excited because I've been telling Poe, if you're going to be a great BKFC champion, you've got to get more dirty. You've got to get more messy inside, and you've got to slug it out a bit more. And she's starting to train for that now. So, you know, if I can get this fight together this year, which I believe I can, I think that's going to be one hell of a matchup. I honestly think Poe will win.
Well, I'll tell you, I know it's a fight that Britain would take, and she wants that fight very badly, and she's over here becoming a bigger and bigger star. She's starring in Tubi movies. I just saw a clip where she's playing a bad guy in movies, and I mean, just shows you what the sport's doing. And yes, the 16, that smaller ring with how she loves to get in. She's a phone booth fighter, and Nick, you can attest to this. The real stars in this game, they love to fight in that phone booth. You know.
Absolutely. And that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah, so let's talk about what I think is a coronation of bare knuckle sports here coming up on April 27th in Los Angeles. This is a huge card. I'm going to be in attendance. I can't wait. The whole card is just crazy. How do you feel about LA? I feel like this is going to change the sport.
Wow. I mean, look, everything Dave's been doing since 2018 is not only changing the sport, it's changing the face of combat sports. I mean, he really is a visionary. It's amazing what he's done to bring something as raw as bare knuckle to the main like he has is incredible. But, dude, April 27th, I'm even seriously considering jumping on a plane and coming to that event myself because that's just one of those moments you can't miss, man. I'm on the fence. It's a huge expense for me, but I've got a lot of things going here, but I'm close. But yeah, man, what a matchup, what a card. The main three fights is just off the charts.
Well, absolutely. You got two main event fights, of course, that are off the charts. Then the headline fight, which, of course, is Mick Terrell versus the Juggernaut for the heavyweight championship of the world. Then they announced that Kai Stewart's fighting on that card. You got Crystal, the Rugged Beauty Pittman. I mean, it's going to be an insane card by the time they're done with it. So I heard a little advanced list, too, Nick, about the celebrities in attendance. We got French Montana going to be in there. I think Future's going to be in the building. A lot of stars, which when I was in Miami, you had Andre Agassi, John Mayer, Fat Joe, Tracy McGrady. I mean, a lot of stars are coming to these events.
Yeah, that's always a great sign. You remember the early days of the UFC when it really started to take off? You had all these big stars in attendance. Yeah, and it's now happening with BKFC. Sorry about the noise. Yeah, it's now happening.
No, you're good.
Yeah, that's always a good sign. That's always a good sign to see the big stars starting to show up at the events, man.
Well, and it's got to make guys like you feel good who have been trailblazers and doing this when it was really tough and struggled just to make the business work and make sense. And now I really do believe that in the next 12 to 16 months, it's going to be mainstream. I mean, I see it filling up. They can the Hard Rock, they're filling up. It's time to move to 10,000 seat arenas here. And in Bulgaria, they had 12,500 last week or two. So how does that make you feel as a person who's been in since the ground up?
Do you know what I'm going to say about, excuse me, what you've just said? What makes me feel best about what you just said is your appreciation for understanding that we've been here from the ground up and it's been a hard fight. So first of all, I want to thank you for your acknowledgement of that because, dude, it's been really, really tough. I mean, we love what we do. It's passionate. It's worth every ounce of effort, but a lot of people don't understand just how tough it is to do what we do, especially in regions like Thailand where it's a completely new sport and they don't understand it. So first of all, let me say thank you very much for that. And of course, yeah, I mean, from us, it's a metric, isn't it? It's something we can measure the success and the growth of the sport from. So, you know, seeing, you know, these numbers coming to the events, seeing these big names, enjoying the atmosphere and the fights. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's what we're working for. So yeah, it makes me feel great.
Well, absolutely, man. And kudos to you. Kudos to Dave Feldman Sr. and Tony. Kudos to Lolo Lopez. You know, matter of fact, Nelson Lopez Jr., happy birthday. They just celebrated yesterday his birthday, Nelson Lopez Jr. down there with a successful prospect amateur card, right? I mean, and so I do want to say this, man. It's been a pleasure, Nick. I look forward to this, man, to this interview. And I've talked to Mr. Feldman about you. And thank you very much for the time you've given us, man. It's been great.
My pleasure, my man. It's always good to catch up with you guys. Thank you.
And Knuckletown, Matt Seibel included in this, we can't wait till the next Thailand event because we want to fly into Thailand. We're sleeping on your couch, brother. We're sleeping on your couch.
You You guys are always welcome. I've told Matt this. You guys, and listen, I'd love to see you boys over here more. We're in the process of putting together some pretty big deals at the moment. They're going to produce a lot of funding for us. As I say, once those deals go through, we can set a schedule. Then after that, I can start planning more around Thailand and really pushing this part of the world. And yeah, guys, you're always welcome, man. Always. But my number one objective this year is Poe Demon versus Britain Hart in Thailand.
Absolutely, man. And all the blood, tears, and sweat you guys have shed, I have zero doubts that you're going to make that happen, Nick. Hey, man, always welcome in Knuckletown. Thank you so much, man. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Bless you, bro. Thank you very much. Cup on cup.
There you have it, man. Knuckletown, man, a great conversation there with Nick Chapman, who's been involved in this explosion of the BKFC for the last several years. And like he said, the challenges that they face in a market like Thailand, where they're teaching an entirely new sport and the culture of how they fight. And it's really interesting when you get into that. And bare knuckle, man, just once again showing you why it's the fastest growing sport in the world. And we hope to see it really. We can't wait over this next year, all the events that are happening. So from Knuckletown, man, hey, my man Howie Atherton, I say, welcome to Knuckletown. Hey, Big Face is out, baby.
Welcome to Knuckletown.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your phone cloud, if you're raining out, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
Welcome to Knuckletown.
With me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe.